Hello everybody, my name is Raccoon Bro VA and welcome back to another reaction video. Smash Bracket! It is time once again for another round 1 episode, and this one's a doozy because it's Link versus Ridley, Dose. We got a matchup between these two previously, back in their first 3 episodes of the show, but things have changed a lot since then. Their rules have gotten more refined, so to speak, and now they want to go back and redo their first 3 episodes and I guess have a more refined look at them. And this includes Mario versus Mega Man and King Dedede versus King K. Rool. And I've been looking forward to this one the most, especially when I learned that it would be done in 3D. And I don't know, just like it feels like a very fitting matchup for these two. Classic hero versus villain, the knight in shining armor coming to slay the dragon, you know? And I'm very much looking forward to what we got going on here, especially as a Zelda fan myself, so let's get into the mayhem.
Who would win in a fight between Link from Legend of Zelda and Ridley from Metroid?
The hero
I'm
of
Ink, and this is
Hyrule.
Smash Bracket, the show where we put every character from Super Smash Bros. Into a giant animated tournament to figure out who is canonically the most powerful. Today's battle is the first in a line of 4 remakes of our concept season, Season 0. And today we get to revisit our very
we're
first
including
episode
Sonic
ever
versus
with
Fox
updated
for
research and new animation.
other reasons.
Let's get into it. Where can people turn when all hope is lost? Throughout human history, people have been weaving legends of icons capable of keeping us safe in the face of evil.
I just wasn't sure if I
is centered around
was supposed to specifically include
whether
Sonic
skyward
versus Fox
bound,
in that
adrift
same
in
kind of
time,
category.
Or steeped in the glowing embers of twilight, Hyrule has always been a kingdom of both sorrow and hope. But while exact interpretations of Hyrule have evolved over the years, one thing that's remained constant is the struggle against the forces of evil and the hero who stood fearlessly between Hyrule and its certain destruction. This is the legend
always
of
being
Link,
the
hero
same
of
baddie.
Hyrule. Now,
Whether,
Link has
even
had
if they
many different
want you to think
legends
it's
and
another
stories told about
baddie,
him over the
Ganon
years.
always kind
They've
of
spread
steals the
millennia
spotlight every
and
now
have
and
crossed
then.
over a dozen reincarnations of the character, making Link almost
Poor
more of a
Xant.
title than any singular character. That said, for the purposes of Smash Bracket, we're going to be combining each version of Link into one singular combatant, as each version
smash
is
them
also
together,
connected through the same
pressurize
spirit
it
of the hero.
like
And
a
the first
diamond.
legend of this hero spirit goes all the way back to before the creation of the world itself. 3 golden goddesses gathered together and decided to create life as we know it, in a collaborative effort to organize the natural chaos of the universe. After their labors had concluded, they departed for the heavens, but not before leaving their new creations with something to remember them.
Ocarina of Time
The goddesses
HD.
created a golden triangle called the Triforce. It was comprised of 3 pieces,
Is this video
with each
HD?
section
Yeah, it is.
representing a different aspect of the goddesses. This Triforce was said to grant unfathomable power
classic
to anybody who
triangles,
could obtain even a single
the classic
piece of it.
Doritos.
And if somebody gathered all 3 pieces, they'd be able to have the goddesses grant them a wish.
It's such a badass
all that
moment,
godlike
man.
wisdom, and yet they still somehow didn't see how giving a developing nation prone to war an all-powerful artifact might lead to some less than desirable results. And naturally, a war
it's like Kami
did
with the
break
Dragon
out.
Balls,
The
good
Demon King,
intentions.
Demise sought to use the Triforce to bolster his own power, whereas the goddess
thought people
Hylia
would like
wanted
it.
to take that Triforce and protect
I
it
was
for
sort
the
of
people
right.
Hyrule. She was able to fend off the Demon King, but only by sacrificing her own life and divine power. She sent her followers to a floating island called Skyloft.
Don't worry,
and
guys,
split
this
her
is an
remaining
episode
life
about
force
Link.
into
There's
2
just a lot of lore to get
combos. Legendary
through.
blade, which became known as the Master Sword, and a mortal reincarnation of herself named Zelda. And
Best
so,
Zelda, by
together,
the way.
people of Skyloft lived in peace and harmony. But when the Demon King threatened his return and Zelda was in danger, it was clear that the world needed a hero to stand up against the
As for whether or not it's the best
and
game,
this came in the form of Link, Zelda's best friend since childhood. He'd been training
it's my
as a
first
knight
Zelda
online,
game, so I'm a
learning
little biased
swordplay
towards it,
and
if I'm being
aerial-based
honest.
combat on his trusty riding bird called a Loftwing.
Oh yeah,
To
we're gonna
save his
get to
best
see the
friend, Link
Loftwing
took
in
up
this
the sword of the
episode.
goddess and took his Loftwing, and then took a leap of faith, falling to the surface below to face the unknown and save Zelda. Now, while he started from simple
aerial
beginnings,
fight.
Link didn't need to endure this adventure alone. The sword he wields contains a spirit named Fi, who
Just
helps
make sure you
provide
gotta walk
Link
through,
with
especially if you're
information
playing
about
one of
where he
those,
is
earlier
and
Zelda
what
games.
enemies he's facing. And this sort of companionship's been a constant for Link across his many different journeys over the millennia. Whether that be the spirit of his sword, a noble steed, or companion fairies, Link is never truly
did you
alone.
know that if
and
you
across
collect
his
more
journeys to
hearts,
save
you can
Zelda,
get more
Link's
hearts?
acquired several different items and abilities that he was able to use to help him along his way, allowing him to eventually track down the Demon King himself and use his blade to seal him away once and for all.
Demise.
But As he struck the finishing blow on Demise, the Demon King left Link with a curse, swearing that his hatred would follow Link and Zelda.
I swear, guys, all the Zelda games are totally connected.
Always finding whatever form the two would take.
It was planned all along.
Across the land. And this curse really set the stage for the millennia that followed.
And that's the best Ganondorf.
Each time Link and Zelda were reborn, a form of Demise's reincarnated hatred.
So look at
right there.
He's got the best drip.
This hatred has taken several forms over
and I'm including the hair when I say that.
Finding new ways to seek out the Triforce once more and destroy Link once and for all. But luckily for our hero, Demise wasn't the only one evolving here. Link has used a variety of blades over the years, such as the mighty Big Goron sword or the Four Sword, which can create duplicates of Link, providing that he's near some incredibly conveniently placed tiles. But even after dozens...
This is not an ability Link can perform at will, and was only possible due to the act of drawing the sword from the pedestal in the game's intro.
Link's blade of choice has always been the great blade of evil's bane. The Master Sword. This sword was already powerful enough to pierce Ganon, destroy evil, and take on giant monsters.
It's as powerful as a butterfly net. Let's go.
His power even further. By working with rare ore, masters of smithing, and fairies, Link was able to create the golden
I still don't know why the
sword,
fairy looks like that in that game.
Sword that boasts over
Although, to be fair, I don't think there are any normal-looking fairies in any of these games.
Without the person wielding it. And Link has an impressive amount of experience under his belt. Not only has he gained experience from adventuring through the land on his own, but many versions of Link also have formal training as a knight, a bodyguard, and he's even learned the combat sport of sumo. In Twilight Princess, Link's even received sword training from himself in a past life.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to be intimidating a sumo wrestler when you're a twink.
Like spears, axes, or skeleton arms. Link has always had the most experience with his sword, excelling at blade-to-blade combat, blade-to-hand combat, or even blade versus invisible bongo-playing Shadow Beast combat. Just like any well-rounded fighter, though,
or any
Link
boss fight
doesn't
with
just focus
hands,
on offense, but he also rounds out his defense by carrying a shield with him wherever he goes. He's used several different shields over the years, from wooden, handcrafted models to the Mir shield, which is specifically designed to reflect energy-based attacks. But the shield that he takes with him the most often is the Hylian shield. And this thing can take some serious abuse, withstanding lasers, explosions, and massive attacks from gargantuan enemies. But while this is his preferred defensive option, Link can really make just about
I still wish
work.
that it was indestructible in Breath of the Wild,
to be able to deflect
but I
deadly
understand
energy
why.
blasts with nothing but a pot lid. This parry ability can stop charging beasts in their tracks, and with projectiles it plays the old Uno reverse card, returning them to sender. Link isn't just a threat at close range though. He's an extraordinarily gifted archer. He's capable of aiming accurately.
The game that
5 arrows
needed a peripheral for the Wii, but not really.
From your run-of-the-mill standard arrow to shots imbued with the elements themselves, like fire, ice, and
electricity. A
game
meant to make the Wii remote more clunky, essentially.
Thaw an entire frozen island, while that ice that I mentioned has been able to instantly totally freeze an erupting volcano. And if that wasn't flashy enough for you, Link can also shoot bomb arrows, capable of delivering deadly explosions from afar. But his most deadly arrows come in the form of the silver, light, and ancient arrows, which can all instantly obliterate basically any enemy with a single touch. And Link's magic doesn't just end here. He can also cast spells given to him by the goddesses, shoot elemental magic from staffs, conjure pillars of sand from the sand rod, and in Hyrule Warriors, he can even use that same rod to summon a freaking spirit train to slam into his enemies. And whoever said that the hero of trains wouldn't come in handy? This magic also manifests itself in several different potions that Link can consume to boost his offensive and
Hyrule Warriors would make yeah, that would make sense to have it be secondary canon. Maybe used to establish new feats and abilities, but it may not be used as a guidepost to establish. Okay.
And he carries several magic fairies with him.
Fair enough.
Who can revive him if he should ever fall in combat. While it's not necessarily a part of the character that's talked about super often, magic really has always been integral to Link's combat abilities since the very start, leading to some of the flashiest attacks and giving him magical armor that makes him invincible to everything in his game, provided that he doesn't run out of magic. Which is never really a concern for him, considering that after drinking a glass of Chateau Romani, Link is granted infinite magic for 72 hours.
Make sure you got your milk on handy.
The magical milk, Link's also gained access to mystical masks, capable of transforming whoever wears them. This can turn Link into a powerful rock-like Goron, a graceful Zora, or a wooden Deku, which comes with the ability to shoot bubbles, but also a massive weakness to fire. Which, Gonna be honest, that last one kind of sounds like a bit of a downgrade if you ask me. But if Link really wants to show off his masks, he can grow to gargantuan sizes with the giant
do the
mask,
Deku
or
Nut
channel the
unless
embodiment
you gotta,
of chaos itself with the
Deku Scrub unless you gotta
This thing
be,
not only gives Link some
doing
sweet face paint, but also makes him big enough and strong enough to cleave this massive asteroid-sized moon in half.
Look
and
at that,
speaking of
baby.
powerful spirits, Link is also able to call upon the help of 4 ancient champions of Hyrule to help him through combat, either by launching him into the air, saving him from a deadly blow, summoning lightning, or bringing him back from the dead. Now, I really don't want this video to just turn into a Wikipedia list of all of Link's crazy items. That doesn't make for good content, but trust me when I say that there are a ton, and we're just scratching the surface here. But what's just
Luckily,
as impressive
this might not be Link's only episode.
Link is a master of puzzles and is able to use his intelligence on the fly, devising smart ways to take out colossal bosses that would otherwise be impossible to hurt. Link is incredibly smart and resourceful, always finding a way to create his own advantages in the middle of a battle. Whether
Thank
that
you
be
for
through
leaving
sheer ingenuity
these
or
very
unorthodox
obvious
weaponry.
weaknesses.
Those might not be too surprised to see a swordsman with a shield and a bow, but if that same swordsman pulls out an ocarina to change the weather, or a magical baton that can use an invisible choir to possess a statue, his enemies are probably going to start having some questions. And besides all this, Link doesn't even need his wide arsenal to be a threat. He's fast enough to keep pace with Thunderblight Ganon, moving hundreds of miles per hour, and he's also able to keep pace with the movement of an arrow, which can be a pretty big range of speeds that I'm going to throw up on screen now, but still, it's really impressive and only made all the more impressive
slowest moving arrows I've ever
seen.
seen.
His speed to slow his perception of combat mid-battle with Flurry Rush. But if somehow his enemies are still too fast for him, Link could always just freeze them in time with the Sheikah Slate or his Phantom Spheres. Look, Link has been in so many different
Flurry Rush
games,
a feat
so many
or a
different
gameplay
abilities
thing
that if I went through them all, we would be here all day. But when it boils down to it, Link isn't about his arsenals or abilities or stats. At the end of the day, the story of The Legend of Zelda, and really the story of Link, is the embodiment of hope in the land of Hyrule.
Aww.
He's a symbol of courage, that no matter how bad things get, no matter how evil things are, that you're never truly alone. This courage isn't a lack of fear. In fact, many versions of Link explicitly get scared pretty often. But true courage, the kind of courage that Link really embodies, is the ability to look certain demise dead in the eyes and choose to fight to the end.
Hell
and
yeah.
it's that exact trait that has made Link truly legendary. Now let's see how he stacks up against his opponent for today, Ridley.
Because if you don't have any fear, you're just being dumb.
When you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. That could be something as simple as talking about Nintendo characters on YouTube, but in the case of today's fighter, it could also be a ruthless space pirate hell-bent on causing destruction, breaking up families, and stealing lots and lots of cool tech. Enter the Space Pirates, a group of galactic terrorists who plunder, raid, and destroy any planet that they set their eyes on, enslaving the local inhabitants to do their bidding and declaring the stolen land as their own territory. These pirates have caused some of the most devastating events in galactic history, but they wouldn't be anywhere near the threat that they truly are without Ridley.
Is Ridley going
Ridley's
to
what
talk
happens if you
in
take
this
the most
episode?
horrifying, terrible, evil thing you could possibly think of and multiply it by
Nintendo
6.
Power Comic.
He stands at 18 feet tall and thrives off of pure
I gotta make the Metroid joke. Okay, fair enough.
sadism and a thirst for blood and destruction. He doesn't want to just break someone's bones, but their spirit as well. His idea of a fun weekend is destroying an entire village, killing the inhabitants, and then tormenting a young girl by murdering her mother in front of her, only to quip about eating her to heal his wounds. Which really came back to bite him when that girl went on to become the most capable bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Chew on this.
But Ridley wasn't too concerned about that. He believes himself to be part of superior, elite species, with all others far beneath him, and he believes that all other races are only good for
blood,
being
you disgusting
exterminated
monster.
and nothing more. And the only thing that seems to match this sort of racist sadism is his intelligence. He didn't just get his position as captain of the Space Pirates for his good looks, but he's also shown himself to be a masterful commander and battle strategist, leading and orchestrating many successful missions and raids. But apart from his pirate squadron, Ridley is really something of an army in his own right. His mind is always focused on getting his target to as weak of a position as possible before brutally murdering them. For example, that girl that he taunted grew up to become the deadly Samus Aran. And when fighting her, Ridley created his own advantages in battle, trapping her in air ducts as a morphball to restrict her movement. And when she still proved to be able to match his maneuverability, he removed speed from the equation altogether by launching them both down a generator shaft, putting them both into free fall and ensuring that even if Samus was able to kill him, she wouldn't be able to make it out alive herself. This kind of ruthless intelligence is what earned Ridley the nickname the Cunning God of Death. which, knowing Ridley's opinion of himself, very much sounds like a
dragon, I
nickname he
swear.
would have given himself. And this opinion of himself is so high that he's built statues and robots in his own image, just to marvel at and protect his ship in his absence if he's ever gone. And when Samus has been able to best him in battle time and time again,
if you had the resources and the know-how, wouldn't you?
Pirate's signature research and development process. Rub some Phazon on it. Which is something that we should actually talk about real fast.
Speaking of gods, hi
universe,
Arceus.
Phazon is a highly radioactive substance, usually existing in the form of ore, but it can also be found in liquid when highly concentrated. Its radioactivity can't be overstated. Organisms who are exposed to it usually die in seconds. To understand how absurd that is, know that even the most intense radioactive poisoning events in our world history still took days to kill the people exposed to them. Despite its deadly properties, Phazon is still a highly sought after compound, because this radiation also produces an unrivaled source of power. Nothing in the Metroid universe even comes close to it in terms of raw power output. So many people seek to use it as weapons or energy.
Eventually.
And in Ridley's case, he decided to have his whole body infused with Phazon, and then fuse himself with cybernetics, being reborn as the cyborg Omega.
Look at that mad lad.
In this form, Ridley was covered by a hardened version of Phazon called phazite, which is one of the strongest materials in the entire universe. Beings coated in it are effectively invincible to all known conventional means of attack. Omega Ridley can also launch attacks composed of pure Phazon energy. Now, it should be noted that while Phazon in its natural state is radioactive,
how do we do this?
Neither Phazon energy nor phazite, its hardened form, exhibit these same radioactive properties, as Samus was able to measure in Metroid Prime 3. But even if these Phazon-fueled attacks don't contain deadly radiation, Omega Ridley is still incredibly deserving of fear. As I said, he's essentially invincible to all means of attack, even being able to completely no-sell everything in Samus's arsenal, including her Volt Driver. I don't like just throwing numbers up here, so I asked my research team to help me visualize this, and they told me that that's enough energy to instantly cook over 3 million pounds of chicken all at once, condensed into the size of your fingernail. So yeah. Eat your heart out, MatPat. But anything south of this outrageous power won't even leave a scratch on his phazite body, no matter how many times you hit him with it. And Ridley's been able to put out some serious power himself as well, like when he was able to casually explode an entire mountainside. Ridley isn't some big, slow brute either. While traveling, he's able to keep speed fast enough to match Samus' ship as it enters orbit. And in combat, he's able to reach speeds of well over 1,000 miles per hour, while still being able to maneuver in tight quarters. And with his extreme speeds, Ridley can make use of an array of deadly combat abilities, whether that's shooting missiles, blasting beams of Phazon energy, breathing fire, or just skewering his targets with his massive tail and claws. And it seems like no matter how many times he's put down, Ridley just refuses to stay defeated. When he's bested, he either builds himself new body parts, dips himself in poison, or eats innocent villagers to heal himself up. And Ridley's vicious love for vitriol keeps him coming back time and time again to terrorize any planet unfortunate enough to fall into the attention of the space pirates. With that said, it's time for our fight. If you want to help keep our series going, please consider backing us up on Patreon or YouTube memberships. We've got works in progress, concept art, and early access to music for our supporters there. And even just a few dollars a month really helps us out. Also, in honor of our last episode, Ken vs. Terry, we've decided to sell a limited edition Please Wubba Wubba Responsibly shirt. I think only a few people are going to totally get this reference, but if you're interested and that speaks to you, it's going to be available on our merch site and the link is in the description below. But for now, let's get into our fight and find out who will advance on to the next round of the Smash Bracket and who will be disqualified. Let's get into it.
I'll give it to Link still, because I think his speed and arsenal will probably be enough to take him down. So, let's get into it. I really loved the trailer for this one, by the way. It was the homage to the Ocarina of Time trailer. There's a 97% chance that your Lotwing is contained within those ruins. Ride forth, but stay on guard for any traps or ancient machinery located within. May the goddess Helia bless you, Master. That's cool, giving him a goal. It's less like in Link vs. Cloud where he's motorcycling. It's like, you have a motorcycle too! Prepare to die! Also, they went with the Machamp route and decided to give Link a voice actor. I always appreciate when they do stuff like that. Oh no! Epona, no! I forget if Epona. I'm just gonna assume girl. Not my girl Epona. And I don't even remember what Link's Loftwing's name is, or if it even has a name. Ah. Okay. Oh. I gotta say, levitation. Your Link grunts are on point. Well done. Master, your shield is being corrupted by radioactive energy. Get rid of it at once. All right. Oh, nice use of the magic powder.
I'm not interested in playing with your toys.
I'll get you, Gadget. I'm glad they gave Ridley a voice as well. Nice use of the power gauntlets. Ah. Oh, nice. Wind Waker.
Are you playing your own dirge?
Nope. It's a distraction. Let's go. By the way, I like how the Master Sword is golden to show that it's been tempered all the way, just like in A Link Between Worlds.
Why is everything you do so damn weird?
Oh. Ridley, you're acting overconfident. Oh no. Well, Kirby technically didn't die. Summoned a train. What about it? The ancient arrow. Uh-oh.
Come on, is that the best you can do?
Well, I mean, hey, you asked.
All right then.
Oh no! No, not the Loftwing! Oh, this is cool.
We're with you, Link.
Oh, hell yeah! Nice to see Hermosa getting some love. Ooh. I am very impressed by the amount of Link's arsenal that they're implementing. This is very impressive. Oh, gee!
What we have here?
Oh no, Link! Oh crap! He's got to save the town now.
Oh man, this makes Rampage so much more fun.
Come on, Link, you can do it. No! Come on, Mipha, save our boy!
I have got to get me one of these.
I'm here, Link. Stand and show this creature the courage that makes you my hero.
Come on. You gotta be fierce, like a deity. Oh my gosh. I like how they're showing the emotional resonance in this one. Infinite magic. How many times do I have to kill you, boy? Uh-oh.
If you surrender, I promise I'll kill you before the rest of this village.
Ooh. Alright, what are you gonna do, man? Whoa, this is cool. Oh, shit! I was not expecting that. Dang. Okay, that was a very clever use of his arsenal. Literally using a mask that they even foreshadowed that in the analysis. Like, this seems like a bit of a downgrade. It's like you like masks? You can have it. That was nice. Very nice.
And there you go! This battle wasn't nearly as clear-cut as you might initially think. While it is true that Link has some serious offensive power and a plethora of different delivery options for that power, Ridley is just so tanky with his phase-eye armor that Link couldn't even leave a dent on him. He could theoretically find weak points in the armor and attack Ridley there, but that just adds one more obstacle for him to worry
Dude, it's a freaking
Ridley,
tank.
on the other hand, was hitting with less than 1% of what Link can endure.
I need to hear that again.
Ridley, on the other hand, was hitting with less than 1% of what Link can endure.
Oh, shit.
If Link got the chance to activate his magic armor and down a Chateau Romani, Ridley wouldn't be strong enough to hit past Link's durability, and he would need to wait out an entire 72 hours while surviving for the magic to wear off. So here we have two fighters who basically can't hurt each other at all no matter how much they wail on each other, meaning that the deciding factor in this is unlikely to ever really be about attack power or durability.
Sounds like a Banjo and Kazooie versus Yoshi situation.
Speed also wasn't an incredibly meaningful factor.
They're two
Ridley did have the
both are
advantage
just
in
too
usable
damn
combat
tough.
speed, and he could operate at nearly 1.5 times the speed of sound.
They
but
refuse
when
to
Link
die.
activates Flurry Rush to enhance his combat speed, things really started to even out. All the more so if he stopped Ridley in time entirely. So what this fight ended up coming down to is seeing which fighter could come out on top against an otherwise unbeatable enemy using strategy and utility. Which is what Link is all
where
about.
Link excels.
While both fighters were strategic enough to shut down some of their opponent's best strategies, Link just had way more options at his disposal to deal with Ridley than Ridley had to deal with Link. One of the most reliable ways that Link would be able to get past Ridley's defenses was to transform him into something more manageable. Whether that be through an unorthodox use of his masks, or a more standard transmutation option like the Spell or Magic Powder. Transforming Ridley before killing him would also take care of one of Ridley's most deadly attacks.
The
When
armor.
Samus destroyed him in Metroid Prime 3, his body exploded with a deadly phase-on radiation that would have immediately killed Link. But since this was the only instance of Ridley's phase-on being radioactive, and Link's main win condition was to change Ridley into something else entirely, phase-on ended up not being a huge factor in determining the winner. Especially when you consider that even if the phase-on killed the fairies that Link carries on him, he would still be able to come back from death with Mipha's grace.
Poor
At the end of the
Navi.
day, Ridley is just the exact kind of enemy that Link excels at fighting. And while Ridley has dealt with adventurers with deadly arsenals before, Link's array of items and abilities is just so much wider and more unpredictable than anything in Ridley's universe. Link is the winner and will be moving on to the next round.
All right, Link. I'm proud of you, boy.
Next time on the Smash Bracket.
Ooh. It's about damn time. They've been teasing this one forever. It's been a hot minute since our last Pokemon episode. What is that from?
Never thought I'd miss the food on Corneria.
Is that I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, all right. Like, fantastic job all around, guys. Like this was a really well done, and props to all the animators and the lighting designers and the voice actors and the editors. Yeah, all some great stuff. I really liked Ballad for the God of Death. That was a really great track too. I think what helps this one shine a lot is how the story plays out. It's like really good, just classic wanting to see our hero overcome the villain, that kind of thing. Seeing Link's arsenal constantly getting like used up more and more, and until he has to go with some really unorthodox strategy that I certainly didn't see that coming. That was very creative, much like the Zelda series itself. And yeah, this is probably up there as one of my new favorites. So well done, Smash Bracket team. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you all liked the video as much as I did, and be sure to stay tuned for the next video. Take care.